Nation. This meet has it all as the number 4 ranked Northern Iowa Panthers are at the historic UW Fieldhouse to take it.
Here this past weekend, UNI came out on top, and I think that's a big rivalry in their state. Obviously with Northern Iowa and Iowa State. Yep. Yeah, it was a good one.
And with that, we'll get right into it at 197. It'll be Wyatt Ingham versus Wyatt Volker. Battle of the Wyatts here to get us going.
Yeah. Wyatt Ingham, he's a freshman. He's home state kid. He's been doing real well. I know he busted up his knee this past summer, so he's coming off an ACL injury, and he's back on the mat, ready to roll.
Ingham, freshman from Amory, Wisconsin. Got himself an uphill battle to get us going here as Volker, just a redshirt sophomore, already number 11 ranked in the nation out of Manchester, Iowa.
Yeah, and this kid, he's really good too. He's I think he's a natural 84-pounder, but with Parkin Keckenheiser down there at 84, it's kind of find your way in the lineup, and he's taken over 97, and he looks like a big one at that.
Yeah, well, playing your best for UNI. Every single one of their wrestlers is ranked nationally. In fact, all of them but one are in the top 20.
Yeah, and their team comes in at, top 5 in the country. I think they're sitting at number 4 right now, behind Iowa. And as you can see, Volker has got Ingham in the front headlock here, trying to get him to the mat and get behind. But we're still neutral on our feet after a minute and a half, and looks like Ingham's going to try to give this guy a good match.
Well, Volker, last time out, went in ranked lower than his opponent, Evan Bachman, but you wouldn't have known it. 7-2, masterful defensive performance from the redshirt sophomore. Talk about it being senior night. That was as loud of an atmosphere, I think, as we've seen all year across the nation.
Yeah, it was fun to watch that match as Volker gets that three-point takedown there. I think he just got to an outside snatch and just kind of used his power and ran through Ingham. Now he's sitting on top, riding on the edge. But, yeah, talking about that atmosphere last weekend against UNI versus Iowa State, it was fun to watch that. I think it came down to the last 2 duels, so I think Volker was one of the guys that sealed the duel for him and came out with a win. And I think it was an easy job for the heavyweight and the 125-pounder to finish the duel off as they started at 133 for that one.
Get you another look at that takedown. Less than 1 minute into period number 1, and Volker doing what he's done best.
Yeah, as you can see, he's throwing that leg in. Ingham does a good job at getting to his feet, getting leg out, staying solid on his base. It's like Volker's trying to get that leg back in, as he does when they get down to this crackdown position.
And obviously, Ingham going to wind up needing this escape point here. Back up on his feet, still hunting.
He's working hard, looking for that switch. He's just got to get to his feet again and stay on his feet. That's the hard part, right? As he's trying to get to his feet again, he's got 10 seconds to get away. We get a fresh start back in the center of the mat. 7 seconds to go. It's big if Volker can get a ride out here. His riding time goes over a minute right now, so it's always good to score right before the period ends and be able to hold your opponent down.
Well, talk about that defensive prowess for Volker, able to show it off right there, gets the takedown, holds on, no escape point for Ingham.
Yep, and as you can see, I think it's Volker's choice. He won the coin toss, and Volker goes down. I know after this is the last duel for Big Ten competition, and then I know March 8th and 9th, all the Big Ten teams head down to Evanston, wrestle at the Big Ten championships, which should be really, really exciting.
Yeah, Wisconsin coming in at 5-11 on the year, 1-7 in Big Ten, coming off of a loss at Northwestern.
Yep.
But right before that, they did get themselves a definitive win right here at the Fieldhouse against Michigan State.
Yeah, and they came out and did work against Michigan State. I think Wisconsin ended up winning 6 out of the 10 matches there, and kind of secured their victory for their first time this year, which is which is probably big for these guys being a young team, going out and getting one duel in and being able to get it here at home in front of their home crowd. Ooh.
Ingham very nearly getting himself a takedown there, but Volker able to skirt away.
Yeah, you wouldn't know that Ingham's a freshman. He is definitely wrestling up to par right now. Changing his levels, reacting very well to these shots. See if Volker kind of turns it up and sees what happens here. Center of the mat, a lot of hand fight going on. We already got a minute in, second period here. Volker's up 4-0 with a minute of riding time. Really good hand fighting. These guys are dropping in low, looking for ankles. They're moving really well for heavier guys.
Volker able to swing around, earn himself another takedown with 35 seconds left in period number 2.
Yep. And that's college wrestling, man. It's just reacting when a guy shoots in, being able to down block and then get back on your offense. It's a lot of defense to offense and offense to defense. The better you can get with those transitions, the more success you're going to have at this level. And as we was talking about before, Volker gets that takedown right before the end of the period, and he rides him out. That's just, I don't know, it's a veteran wrestling, and if you can do that, you're going to win a lot of matches as well.
Yeah, you said it. Ingham, a freshman, or true freshman at that, still not on the board right now. Just not able to quite get that escape point.
Well, he'll get his opportunity here. He chooses down in the third period, and let's see if he works to get to his feet. Oh, as you can see, Volker is cutting him, and probably seems like he's going to try and go get the major here is my guess. See if Wyatt Ingham can turn the ties and get a takedown of his own here.
Well, obviously, it's definitely an uphill battle for Wisconsin. If they intend to pull off, it would be a major upset. That said, getting a decision here. You got Gannon Rosenfeld coming up next at the 285 level against either Lance Runyon or Adam Ardenson. But then after that,
Ingham in on the shot. Very, very good low double. Kind of in this scrambling position. One of these guys got to get their head up and start elevating legs, turning into their opponent, trying to get their knee up high as we get a stalemate here.
Probably a good call there, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough once a guy gets to a point where he's holding on, and obviously with Ingham with that knee brace on, you as a ref, you get kind of worried about it, and maybe he called it a little bit early, but that's all right.
As I was saying, when it turns over to the lighter weight class, Wisconsin's going to have their best two coming up, so they're going to need their heavyweights to do their job in order to try and get their ringers up to bat and give themselves a potential lead. But as I said before, this is just an absolutely stacked roster at UNI.
It is, and UNI should be competing for a trophy here as Ingham gets in on another leg and Volk spins around, and now we're in that scramble position where one of these guys got to get their head up high and start elevating leg. Looks like Volker's just holding on, but Ingham is definitely working to try to get something. We got a stalemate. We're back on our feet.
Right now, Ingham's set to fall just by decision, which I'm sure is something that Wisconsin would be a fantastic result. But that said, he was applying some serious pressure there, just about 30 seconds left.
Yeah, and it looks like Ingham has definitely been on the offense this third period. Surprised it hasn't gotten a stall call here, but at the same time, as I say that, Volker gets in on the leg, and it's close to a finish. Good call by the ref. No takedown there.
You said it. No takedown award. That will make it a 7-point victory, make it a decision for UNI to get us going.
Even though it's a 7-1 victory, 8-1 victory with riding time there, you still get off the mat with nothing but a decision.
Yeah, you said go over the rest of this. Rest of our lineup. Talk about moving over to the top here. Nicola Rivera will be taking on Trevor Anderson. It'll be Zan Fugit taking on Julian Farber. Brock Bobsey 141 going against Kale Happel. 149 Royce Nilo taking on Colin Real Budo. 157, Luke Metzler against Ryder Downey. 165, it'll be Cody Gable against Jack Thompson. 174, Luke Condon against Nick Fox. And at 184, it'll be Dylan Russo versus one of the best in the game, Parker Keckinson.
So we got 2 heavyweights right here. I believe we got Lance Ruan, number 14 in the country. He came out with a loss to Iowa State's heavyweight, but that was one of those matches that came down to the wire, and I believe could have went either way. So I'm sure they'll see each other in the Big 12 championships, and who knows, it might be a little different result.
Lance Runyon, known as a real high stamina guy, also a real high character guy, because Parker Keckinson hopped on the broadcast with Jeff Bradley for Lance's match and said Lance just a guy who's helped him grow, not just as a wrestler, but just across life as a whole. So you're spending a lot of time with these folks. It's not really an option to not get along with them exactly, but to have someone who's just kind of beloved across the board, that's got to be real nice for a locker room.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. I think Swab is doing a great job over there. I know every person that I talk to that comes from UNI is super genuine, very humble kids, and you know, Parker is, I think, is the leader to all of that, and I'm pretty sure that, you know, his connection with all his guys kind of rub off on them, and that's just who they become, and that's just what the motto is there at UNI. So that's awesome to hear that from Parker, and that's awesome that he's holding his guys accountable to a high level of being humble and doing their thing over there. So that's awesome to hear.
That said, Runyon was defeated by Daniel Herrera. It was scoreless going into the third. Runyon earned an escape to give it a lead, but Herrera earned a takedown and got himself a dub.
Yeah, and the funny thing about Ruan is I think they said he was 174 last year. So he's going from 174 to heavyweight again, just finding a way to get in on the lineup and yeah, figuring it out. So that's awesome to hear that he's doing that for his team.
And for Rosenfeld, he's coming off quite a battle. 3 takedowns here in the period number 1, but Northwestern's Dirk Norley struck back, and with the match tied at 14, Morley secured ride time with 5 seconds left to get an absolutely devastating, heartbreaking win for Northwestern.
Yeah, that was a hard one. Watching that one, I think Rosenfeld just kind of ran out of gas there towards the end, and I don't know if he got unaware of riding time or what it was, but yeah, I know that was a hard one, and I'm pretty sure that he's looking to bounce back and try to get a win here tonight. So right now, score 0-0 going into the second period. As I say that, Rosenfeld gets good action there at the end. That was good action.
Yeah, it was a pretty calm match going to that point, but a couple seconds left. Both these wrestlers scrapping in. You got to say, so far so good for Rosenfeld, obviously taking on an elite wrestler, nationally ranked like everyone else on this UNI roster. So
yeah, scoreless
right now, got to think he's feeling pretty good right now.
Yeah, and that's the strategy when you start wrestling guys that are, you know, a little bit better than you, ranked better than you, or whatever you want to call it.
Quick escape.
You got to keep the match close until it's time to take attack. You know what I mean? So Rosenfeld is wrestling the match that he wants to wrestle, and I'm pretty sure Ruan wants to open it up a little bit more. But, you know, as a strategic point of this match, Rosenfeld's doing a great job. So let's see if he can hold it out to the third period, and it comes down to that last takedown, and let's see who gets it.
Yeah, just trying to lower that sample size, I guess.
Yep.
You ever a spot like that, Coach, when you're wrestling? I mean, you were a 2-time All-American, so I'm sure you were not too often overmatched, but you ever had that strategy going in? Just want to try and not launch too many attacks?
I was a guy on my feet that I just loved takedowns, so I was always in go mode, trying to get takedowns. Sometimes it bit me, sometimes, you know, it worked for me, but at the end of the day, I just always had my foot to the pedal and just go out and attack no matter who I'm really wrestling. I was really confident on my feet.
You win the Whitewater Hall of Fame? I mean, if not, it's got to be coming, right?
No, Whitewater is pretty good, man. It's tough to get into that Hall of Fame, especially when it comes to wrestling, because, you know, we had a really good team back then, and, you know, we got some guys that are two-time national champs, 3-time All-Americans. And
Rosenfeld, a big-time takedown, but suddenly UNI cheering, swinging around.
And we got nothing there.
Wow.
Nothing. As I say that, Ruan locks up a cradle. Now he's getting back points. Let's see if Rosenfeld can fight off his back here. That was a beautiful double by Rosenfeld, and somehow Ruan finds a way to get the pin. That was awesome.
Rosenfeld was the one who attacked first. Seemed like he tackled Runyon to an extent, but he just flipped around and got the job done. That was incredible.
That was awesome. And there it is. There's your replay as Rosenfeld runs in for the double. I think he gets a little high. As the scramble continues, Ruan finds a way to lock up the cradle, takes him over to his back, gets his 5 count or 4 count. He adjusts, and then he gets the pin.
Fantastic way to get us going. Of course, that'll gives UNI a big-time lead. 9-0 your score right now. We'll work our way back up to 125 in just a minute. You're watching Big Ten Plus. Here, we're going to have himself an interesting bout against Trevor Anderson, the redshirt sophomore, ranked 29th.
Yeah, I think Trevor Anderson came out and got a pin against Iowa State. So he's coming off big time. But as I say that, Nick Allard gets to his fireman's, and the ref awarded the takedown.
Yep.
He awarded the takedown. Okay. Now we're in the scramble, and it looks like Anderson is in a little crackdown position. Goal here is for Rivera to get off his hip and hook that ankle. As he gets the ankle, and yeah, secure takedown. Riding time's going up as a quick escape happens. Match is paused. I think they're kind of talking about this takedown here.
Yeah, you seemed a little surprised, Coach. What did you see from that one?
Well, I saw Rivera go to his fireman's there, and he takes him to his back. And most of the time we talk about reaction time where you get that fireman's and he takes him down. But looks like Anderson reacted pretty fast. So I think that's what they're going to see, or at least that's what Schwab looked like he's arguing, whether if it's a secure takedown or not.
You have a prediction here, Coach?
I mean, I think I give him the respect for the reaction time, but at the end of it all, Rivera ended up securing the takedown anyways. But it looks like
gonna let this one stand, or are they gonna go back to their corners?
Yeah, I think we got some blood time here. When we come back from blood, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, as it stands, it will be a takedown and escape. Rivera in the lead 3-1, and Trevor Anderson, he's done pretty well for himself. Was unranked when he took down number 5 Caleb Smith in Nebraska. That was UNI's first win against the Cornhuskers in 34 years. Of course, you can see that's a big reason why they had so much success. They got one of the best in the game at their head coach, UNI does.
Yeah, and that was their other Big Ten matchup that they had, and they beat Nebraska, which was pretty cool. I think that they won 6 matches there, and I always talk about if you win more than 5 or 6 matches in a duel, you should be able to win unless you're giving up bonus points. And at the college level, it's really hard to give up bonus points. So if you can get to 5 or 6 matches that you win, most of the time you're going to win the duel. And Rivera with that fireman's again to the takedown. Did we get back points? And 2-point near fall. So just like that, Rivera scores 5 points in the matter of 5 seconds.
Nicola Rivera, 16-3 on the year. Hometown kid from Stoughton, Wisconsin. Just about a 10-minute drive from here, maybe 20.
Yeah, and he's trying to crank up some more points here. He's got that leg in, and I believe the ref is holding back points, and he's giving them 3. He's going right back to legs in, power half. Once you get elbow to elbow with that power half, it really starts to crank on the shoulder and the neck and makes it a little bit easier to take the guys over.
And we talk about Wisconsin. They've got their best 2 coming up, so it's definitely it would be incredibly difficult. But if Wisconsin's going to try and come away with a victory here over a top 5 opponent, they're going to need Rivera to do his job here. So tech fall feels like the minimum.
Yes. And hoping we get the tech fall here, because I think that Rivera and Fugit, they're starting to wrestle consistently. I know Rivera lost a couple matches early on this year where he probably could have won them or should have won them. But it's real big for these guys to start wrestling consistently, especially with the Big Tens coming around and winning the matches that they're supposed to win, and, you know, fighting real hard for the matches that they're underdogs against.
Meanwhile, Anderson able to get himself a reversal as period number one will tick down, and they'll do it. Yeah, you talk about some close losses that Rivera has had. The one that comes to mind is in the border battle against Michigan. Up 3 on number 8 Cooper Flynn with 10 seconds left, but Flynn got a takedown, turned into a near fall, and that was that. But that just kind of seems like one of those moments you're going to have as a redshirt freshman.
Yeah, you're going to have some ups and downs, but you just got to battle through them. And like I said, that was at the beginning of the season. So by the time you get towards, you know, Big Ten championship, we call it March Madness. Once you start getting around that time, you should be starting getting consistent and knowing what you're good at and sticking to it and really pounding on guys that you should be beating. So see if Rivera can get to his feet and open up some points, because I think the Badgers need Rivera to come in big here with either a pin or attack in order to keep these guys in it.
Well, that said, Anderson, another one of those really great defensive guys. Obviously not his best first period so far, but he's a one Big 12 Wrestler of the Week back in early January. Placed third at the Soldier Salute at 125. So interesting ranked bout here. Cannot count Anderson now, especially a guy who's, you know, you kind of saw Rivera going 100% there. I think he's a little tired at this moment, or minute into second, still got some gas.
Yeah, I think Rivera's fine here. He's really staying strong on bottom, not really getting turned. I think this is Anderson's probably best position, I would guess, just because how he's riding him. He's riding him real tough. But I believe once Rivera gets on his feet, he should be able to open up on him. It's just the work to get to his feet and get the escape. So let's see if he can get this escape, and once he does, I expect Rivera to come back and try to go get some points here for his team.
Rivera had himself a fantastic high school career, 3-time undefeated Wisconsin State champion, named Sports Person of the Year by Madison Sports Hall of Fame Club. That's not just Wrestler of the Year, that's Sports Person. So needless to say, he's had a darn good high school career and has absolutely carried over. You got to give credit to Anderson once again. Still no escape for Rivera here. He's been on that mat for quite a minute or two here.
Yeah, he has been down there, and he just got hit with stalling. So looks like Anderson is really, really working, hammering this guy on top. He's got that half in, and I would be real careful if I was Rivera rolling around with the half in. So as I say that, he gets his reversal from a roll around.
How about that? Anderson was in control, it felt like, from almost start to finish with a couple seconds left. Rivera able to add 2 more points to his ledger as we head to period number 3.
And like I always say, score points before the period's over. That's the key to big-time wrestling. If you can score points before the period's over, you're gonna win a lot of matches here at this level.
Yeah, don't often see him score points after the period's over.
Yeah. So I believe Anderson chose top here.
Yep.
So again, I believe that Anderson, this is his best position. So with him being down, he chose his best position, and now let's see what he's got here. Let's see if he can put Rivera on his back. We'll see. There's your second stalling call on Rivera. 1 point awarded to Anderson.
Yeah, we were talking about tech fall in period number 1 after that 11-1 start for Rivera, but Anderson, he's whittling down that deficit. Obviously, Rivera has a lead he can play with, but it seems like it was a good decision to start on top for Anderson.
And there you go. There's your third stalling call.
Oh, wow.
So next one is worth 2 points. Rivera really needs to appeal this half or not let the half get in. He really can't sit there and let this guy ride him on the half, or he's going to get hit with a stalling call again. And like I said, the next stalling call is worth 2 points. And after that, you'll be getting DQ'd. And 6 point goes the other way. So
about the 3rd or 4th time Rivera's tried that roll, just unable to. I mean, Anderson's just wrapped all around him right now. 48 seconds left. Suddenly, this had turned into a pretty intriguing match.
It is, and there's your third stalling call. There's 1 point for him. So as of right now, score is 13-5. Anderson with a minute of riding time. Schwab is out on the mat.
Yes, he is. He wants another stalling call.
He does. Think he wants more so to see if we can get Rivera over to his back. There's another stalling call, so that's number 4. Now that's worth 2 points.
And how about that for Trevor Anderson? Go down as a win for Nicolas Rivera, but not a major decision after that.
Yes, definitely not. And Trevor chose his best position, and he got on top, and he scored points. He didn't score points by taking him to his back, but he scored points with stalling calls and show the ref that he was working and the other guy wasn't. But Rivera walks off the mat. Rivera walks off the mat with the match as Chris Bono gets hit with the unsportsmanlike, and I believe that's 1 point, 1 team point for UNI.
How about that? You can see that Chris Bono was having a very extended conversation with the officials. I guess obviously we can't read lips, but kind of feels like everyone has their breaking point, and I think Coach Bono may have reached it. That said, it's been a tough sledding for Bono, and he is the 16th head coach of this Badger program. He's got a real young, intriguing team to work with. We mentioned it's senior night, but there weren't a lot of seniors to honor. This is a very young, rebuilding team.
Yeah, it is, and I think they'll get some guys coming back next year with Zargo, and then you got Amos coming back. So they'll get. They're licking their wounds right now, and sooner or later they'll get their older guys coming back, and hopefully those guys can lead the team. Also with some of your young guys that's been in the trenches already, and they'll come back and they'll continue to rebuild. I have no doubt in my mind that they'll start to figure things out here.
And suddenly we got ourselves maybe our most intriguing match of this meet.
Yes, Farber, he likes his head outside as Zane Fugit was able to defend it. Like I said, defense to offense. He goes right back in, and ref is awarded 3 points for Fugit as he gets the takedown on the edge of the mat. And like I was saying earlier, man, you got to be able to wrestle. You got to be able to defend yourself. Yep. Defend yourself and get back on your offense. So he was able to defend his legs there, and then he was right back in on his shot.
Fugit, 15-5 record on the year, taking on Julian Farber, who is 12-4, redshirt junior from Bonaire, Georgia.
And Farber had a really good match against Iowa State. Jack Frost from Iowa State. He lost to him, but it was a good matchup, and I think Farber was supposed to lose that match, but he did come out and he fought, and it was a well-fought match. So,
yeah, it was an interesting one as Fugit goes right back to work. Farber struck first because number 5, Evan Frost, he got his right leg up twice in the first 2 minutes, but got dinged up for stalling, and eventually Frost was able to strike enough times to pull away.
Fugit's really working on top here. He's got that bar in. He's trying to look for cross wrist. UNI is really good. They're really strong on bottom. They're able to get to their feet a lot. They're able to seal off, but Zan is doing a really good job on top of keeping them down. Let's see if we can work to get something, to get a turn here.
Fugit earned himself a major decision last time out against Massey Odiati, 11-2. Already a whole hunk of ride time to his name.
Yeah, he's doing a good job at mat returning and getting this guy back down to the mat and showing the ref that he's working on top, because he honestly is. He wants to keep this guy down, and he doesn't want to give up any free points.
I got a question for you here, Coach.
Yes.
Julian Farber, so he likes to collect and sell wrestling shoes. How many wrestling shoes did you have when you were going at it?
Man, I think I had maybe 2 pair.
Really?
Yeah.
How would you decide which one?
I had a practice pair and I had a competition pair. There wasn't really much collecting for me. I just, once they got beat up, I hung them up, and I made sure I asked my mom for a new pair every Christmas. So still doing that till this day. Shout out to moms getting me a new pair of shoes every Christmas.
Yeah, shout out Mrs. Gibson as well. Puget still has that left leg straddling the end of the circle, and now he will step out and he will head to the middle of the mat. How many shoes do you think you need to have to say you have a collection?
I think you got to have a
dozen?
Yeah, I'd say over a dozen. Yeah, I'd say over a dozen. Or you're always exchanging them with somebody.
That's a good point.
Or you got something unique. He looks like he's got some unique shoes on right now. I like them. I don't know if he colored them or if he bought them that way, but I've never seen any inflicts like that, so they look pretty cool.
I bet UNI is making sure he's set up with some nice swag, rocking that purple and yellow.
Oh, yeah. Zane's doing a good job. He's got to ride him out. Let's see if he stays on top. He's got 8 seconds. That was a big ride out for Zane. Big ride out. 2 minutes and 20 seconds. He kept him down.
Yeah, you said it.
Huge ride.
Getting close to securing ride time already if he's able to just keep up that pace. That's just a takedown difference here against one of the ranked competitors on this UNI squad.
And that's a big win for Zane. If he can get this win, this would be a big one. Even he got a bigger one against Van D from Nebraska and beat him, major decision. So he's got it. He's young, but he's got it. And I think, again, like I was talking about with Rivera, it's going to come down to these guys staying consistent. As I say that, Farber locks up a cradle. Let's see what Faber can do with this cradle. Zane staying in a really good, strong base.
See Farber, I think he's trying to keep himself in bounds, and just a split second he was out.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess good awareness there from Puget, just kind of scooping himself on the ground, trying to reach the end of that circle.
Yep. And sometimes as a coach, you don't want to say get out of bounds. Sometimes it's a wrestler being aware of where he is and knowing that I'm right there on the edge, especially with a cradle locked up. Just get yourself out of bounds and get a fresh start, which he did, which was awesome.
We talk about that ride time going into the period. You got to say Farber's done an awful nice job of controlling this one thus far. Right in cue, Puget able to get himself close to getting out of there.
That was a beautiful shoulder roll by Zane. He gets to his feet, feels that pressure. He feels himself going back down. He hits that shoulder roll. He gets an escape, and there's Farber in on that head outside single again, which he loves to be. So let's see if Zane can fight him off here. It's one of those positions where Faber likes to be. Zane gets his legs back. Farber switches on the head inside single. And this is what I'm talking about. You're on the edge of the mat. You don't want to be a coach and say, get off the mat. But as a wrestler, you just kind of got to be smart, and you got to wrestle here and obviously not get hit for stalling, but at the same time wrestle here. Good. That was a good shot by Zane to show the ref he's wrestling on the edge.
You think they're getting close to stalling here?
No, I don't think that was stalling. I wouldn't call stalling there. Zane kind of hit his shot there at the end. Like I was talking about, just a quick replay on that shoulder roll, which was beautiful, beautiful. I love those shoulder rolls. Zane and Rivera is really good at them, and once they get to their feet and they feel that pressure going back down, they do those real quick, and it's an easy way to get your escape. Sometimes even get a reversal on that. Oh, there it is, defense to offense. Almost got him.
Final seconds ticking down. Farber looking to get greedy.
Oh, good wrestling. Good wrestling. And there's that reaction time. It looked like it was 3, but Zan found a way to fight his hips back out with 3 seconds left, and he gets no takedown.
Well, it's been the theme throughout. Talk about trying to get those points right at the end of the period, and Farber, not a bad idea launching that attack, but Puget able to wrap his way back around and avoid the takedown.
Yeah, Puget, he's another one of those kids that really good coming out of high school, and he's a strong kid. He seen him in the weight room a couple times, and he can lift some weight 2 times his size. So I'm excited to see what he's going to look like throughout the rest of his career, only being a freshman.
Man, when are you seeing him in the weight room? You guys go to the same Planet Fitness or something?
No, I get a chance to get in there, and I get a chance to see those guys get in the weight room. And the guy that runs their program, Sawyer Sarbacher, he does a great job getting these boys together. So,
talk a bit about Doug Schwab. Mentioned before that 15th coach in their team's history, and he has been nothing short of, 9th coach in the program's illustrious history, in year 15 at the helm.
Yeah.
And he just got this squad going just right out the gate. Took the job the 2010-2011 season, led the Panthers their first 12-win season since 2003. So bring a guy in looking to try and get that program back up. He just said, watch this. In 1 year, he got the job done.
Yeah. And he's got 20 All-Americans underneath his belt already, and I don't doubt that he'll bring another 4 to 5 home after this year.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Props to Schwab, and he's doing a good job. I know he's got 2 sons that are wrestling probably at the Iowa tournament this weekend. So he's doing his thing, man. I'm happy to see that another program is thriving. We need programs to stay on top, especially with wrestling, and keep this sport alive.
Yeah, you said it. And I think just a good culture of just respecting everyone. I think a proof of that is that UNI, one of the rare teams that recognize their student manager on the coaching page. So shout out Hunter Philpott, student manager of this squad. I mean, I know a couple folks who are student managers, and that is an awful big commitment.
It is, very much. So now we got a minute left, and it looks like Farber is coming back. He's really turning up his offense. He's down 4-zip. 5-zip. I think riding time's not yet secured, but it's getting close. As I say that, Zane gets hit with stalling. Farber's in on the leg again. See if he can finish. Zane's doing a good job with his hips. Make sure he's getting his hips back. Now he's just got to get to his drag. As I say that, we get a stalemate with 30 seconds left.
Yeah, neat little sequence. You can see Farber had control of Fuga's right leg and just not quite able to drive him all the way through. A good job from Fuga, as we said before, just done a really nice job defensively thus far.
Yeah, and I won't be surprised if Faber gets to a head outside single again here. There it is. He almost got that one. Now Zan's got to get off his knees. Zan's got a hand fight. He's got to keep his head in the battle. He's got to clear out of that underhook. He's got to be willing to hand fight here in order to not get taken down or get a stalling call.
Fuga likes to keep him close, and he's done a good job of that.
Well, this is a big win for him if he seals it in 3 seconds.
There you have it.
There you have it. Yep.
5-0 your final. Zan Fuga able to get the job done against a real talented Julian Farber, and suddenly Badgers 6-9 your score right now. So obviously not quite a lead here, but you got to think so far so good for the Badgers when you're considering just the amount of talent that they're taking on.
Yeah, you called it.
Deficit right now, 6-9 your score. It's been fun so far. Wyatt Ingham got himself pinned by Wyatt Volker to get us going. Have seen some nice scrappiness here between these two squads. Rivera able to get himself a win by decision, and just seconds ago it was Zan Fuga able to get himself another decision.
Yeah, now we got Carson Axford out here and Cal Happel. Happel's number 4 guy in the nation, and he came out with an overtime victory over Iowa State, Evan Foster, with the last second takedown exchange. So he's coming off a win. Carson Oxford, I think this is his first time stepping into the lineup. So let's see how he does against one of the top guys in the nation. And as I say that, defense to offense again. Cal was able to down block and get right back to his offense. So first point scored, takedown for Happel.
Yeah, it might be a bit of baptism by fire right now for Carson Axford. True freshman out of Meridian, Idaho. But on the other side, just got nothing to lose, though, so that might be kind of a dangerous wrestler for Happel, a guy who's trying to make his mark one of his first times in the circle for the Badgers.
Yeah, and it's cool as a freshman to come out here and get your feet wet. Obviously it's a big hill to climb for Carson here, but at the same time, I'm sure he's grateful for the opportunity no matter who it is he's wrestling.
Happel another takedown to his ledger. That'll make it 6-1. Coming off a win over number 11, Jacob Frost. Happel is down 4-0 with a minute left in the second, but Frost takedown, 42 seconds left, or tied it at 6. 8 seconds later, though, Happel went from escape right into a takedown. Got called for stalling to make it 10 seconds, but hung on and got the job done. And right now, he's already got 3 takedowns to his name.
Yep. And that's tricky there, you know, getting 1 point awarded to Carson for locked hands. Once you get a takedown, most of the time you get a little bit of reaction time to climb up the body, but looks like Schwab's going to the table to kind of argue the locked hands. But Happel, dude, this whole UNI team is really good with their head outside shots. I think Happel's second takedown was a sweep, and then his third takedown was a high crotch head outside single, and he was able to finish. So that's where we stand at 9-3.
Just a guy can get it done a multitude of different ways. Happel, redshirt senior, 19-2 on the year.
Yeah, now he's trying to turn it up here on the freshman, and there's that head outside single again. I haven't really watched much of Schwab's wrestling, but I would guess he's a head outside single type of wrestler as well, especially the way all his guys are working this high crotch position. Well, that's the first time Happel's got in on the leg and he hasn't finished. So, you know, you got little things like that you can be happy about when you're a freshman and you're stepping in on the mat. It's just small gains, small success. You know what I mean? Hand fighting, figuring things out. Now Carson's got to get in on his legs. Oh, he's wrestling. Good defend. There we go. Good shot for Oxford there.
Take us to period number 2. Carson Exfred down 5 against one of the best in the nation. I guess all things considered, so far so not bad for the freshman, especially taking on one of the best.
Yeah, he's trying his best. Like I said, I think he comes out and he tries to get his opportunity. He has an opportunity to come on the mat and wrestle one of the top guys in the nation. And you know, knowing this kid, I know he's going to fight every single minute. So let's see how he continues to wrestle as he gets his escape point. Now he's got to get in on his legs, get to some takedowns here. Nexford's been wrestling a lot this year. I know he went out to Iowa State for the Open, and he places there. He goes out to Dubuque's Open. He places there. So he's been wrestling this year, and I think he's probably over close to 20 matches, if not over that. So I know he's getting some competition in. Now he's just first time he's on the big stage, and probably takes him a little bit to get going. But if he can get a takedown here, it'd be huge.
Not
as
quite.
The ref stops for potentially dangerous.
Carson Exfred, 4-time state champion of Idaho, folk style national champion.
Yeah, and that's the fun thing about the Badgers. They got a lot of young kids that has success at the high school level, and hoping that it can transfer over to this level, and we can continue, and they can continue growing. And that was your second stall call for Carson, as Happel gets a takedown as well. So 4 points in the matter of about 5 seconds there. 30 seconds remaining in the second period. Happel's tough on top, hooking the ankle. Carson's got to figure out a way to get his ankle unhooked there, start getting his head up. Start working up to his base. There's the head coming up. Again, I talk about it, getting the takedown right before the period ends, and ride him out, and now you don't got to worry about giving up that 1-point escape.
Final seconds ticking down for Carson Exfred. Showed a couple flashes, but Cale Happel definitely in the driver's seat. We got 2 minutes left.
Yeah, he's definitely in the driver's seat. I think he's got 5 or 6 takedowns already here. I think all 5 points for Exford has been escaped and 1 locked hands from Happel. So right away, Happel gets up to his feet, and he gets another takedown, and looks like he's cutting him, and now I think he smells the blood in the water, and he's going to go get his tech.
Well, it's definitely his goal. I mean, he made that look easy, just starting out the period, just immediately flying around, and he's trying to go for that double leg takedown.
And there's your takedown. And it's hard for freshmen to kind of come in and wrestle these seniors, especially because, you know, they've been in the program for 4 years. They've been weightlifting for 4 years, and they don't feel like 141.
And there you have it. Cale Happel, win number 20, will go down as a tech fall over Carson Exfred. That was a fun one to watch.
Yeah, that was a lot of offense, a lot of go on his feet. Like I said, I believe that was all takedowns, and if you can win a match by takedowns, you're really dominant. If you can get a tech fall with all takedowns, you're really dominant on your feet. So yeah, he showed his superior there.
You said it, Coach. Wisconsin won 2 matches. There's Vince Hesprick with you here. Coach, what have you seen so far from these first 5?
They were exciting. Heavyweight stands out the most to me. You can really tell Rosenfeld was trying to have a strategic strategy, as in like keeping it close. Yep. And he took a shot, and Ruan found a way to get him over to his back and lock up his cradle and pin him. But then you come back with Rivera and Fugit, Madison's 2 heavy hitters, and they won 2 matches to try to keep this thing close.
Yeah, you said it. Been awful fun so far. It's been real fun for UNI. Talked about that last meet they had by their in-state rivals, Iowa State. They actually broke their stadium's record for attendance. They were nothing short of fantastic. 7,348 were in attendance. That's the most that the stadium's ever had across any sport since it opened in 2008. Interestingly enough, capacity for that stadium, 7,018. So they were 330 over capacity. That's how big that battle was.
Yeah, that was a big battle. But this guy here, Real Budo, I think that was the best match in that duel. And as I say that, he gets in on a shot, and Royce Nilo finds a way to defend it and end up on his feet. It was a really nice scramble. But a little bit about Real Budo, he was definitely outranked to Panero Johnson there, and he ended up getting a couple stall calls at the end of the match.
It was a crazy one.
Yeah, taking it into overtime, and end up getting the takedown there in overtime.
Yeah, you said it. Number 6, Panero Johnson was up 7-2 against the 13th-ranked Real Budo with 90 seconds left, but an escape plus 2 stalls got it to 2. 1 more stall was worth 2, and suddenly you're tied up, and you said it. Takedown and sudden victory, got it done.
Yeah, and I think both of the coaches there, Iowa State and UNI, got on the mat, and they pretty almost went fist fighting. But as I say that, Royce Nilo gets a takedown here. So as of right now, it's looking like a little upset of his own. So Royce Nilo gets his takedown with a double leg, pull those legs in, finishes on top, and now we get a fresh start in the middle of the mat.
Nilo's 2-12 on the year out of Milton, Wisconsin. Just about a 40-minute drive southeast from here. Maybe 10 from Lake Koshinaga.
Yeah, Royce Nilo, I think he's at the starting spot here for the past couple duels, and he's one of those guys where he's young, and if he can make a run here and get consistent at the things that he's good at, we can see what he really does here in the next week at the Big Ten Championships.
Well, Real Budo, number 10 right now, 19-4 is his record on the year out of Silmar, New York. Transfer from Brown as well.
And I believe Brown is one of those programs that that this year is going to be the last year that they have it. So they're closing down shop there. Or is that Cleveland? I'm not sure which one it is, but I think it's Brown. But
one of the two.
Yeah.
Well, about Real Budo, 10-19 as a freshman, the 18-19 season with Brown, and now for him to be number 10 on one of the best in the nation, just kind of shows the development that makes this sport so beautiful.
Yeah, and I think his match last week really showed the nation or the guys who does the rankings where he should be, and beating Panero there, and that was a beautiful, like I said, head outside single, straight to his finish, and now he's riding on top, looking to get a turn here.
Oh yeah, real big 22 seconds in this first period. Obviously now looking to knot this one up at 4, but not going to be easy, as you can see that ride time flip.
Yeah, and you can see Real Buddha, he's just riding on the edge of the mat, and another strategic strategy that you can have when you're wrestling on the edge of the mat and you're on top is to try to hold that guy in bounds and just keep clocking up the time, and when you feel like you're in danger, you can always just ride him out of bounds.
Yeah, that left leg was straddling the line, and it will do so long enough. It's still a very fun first period, though, of action.
Yeah, we got a takedown for each guy. Real Budo got an escape to make it 4-3. So Royce Nilo chose down. Now he's looking to get an escape here. Real Budo's got that leg in.
Oh, yeah.
Royce Nilo's got to hit a knee slide here, keep his head up. Beautiful knee slide, but now he's got to keep wrestling. Look like Real Budo's got that ankle.
Uh-oh.
He's in that Turk.
Uh-oh.
Oh, he's got a refs counting back points.
Trying to push those shoulders down.
Yep, if he can sink his chest, he'll get the pin here. Royce Nilo's got to fight.
Got him!
And he got the pin there.
Nilo struck first, but Real Budo struck hardest. That was a fantastic way to wrap up an exciting one.
It is, it is. And another thing I think I heard at the Iowa State duel is this kid has given up the first takedown in pretty much every match he's wrestled. So
he had it right where he wanted him when he got taken down to start.
Exactly. No surprise there, giving up that first takedown and coming back and getting the second pin for UNI for tonight.
Yeah, that'll make it 20-6, extending UNI's lead by 4. And now we get to see another one of the best go at it. Ryder Downey, number 3 ranked in the nation, taking on Luke Meschler.
Yeah, Downey, he's got great leg defense. He loves his head outside shot. He's a good scrambler. There's no surprise why he's number 3 in the nation. He's just one of those solid wrestlers that I believe that we'll be trying to hunt for a national title.
Oh, yeah.
Late March here. So, yeah, he actually lost to Chinham. Third period takedown and a ride out.
Yeah, you said it. Cody Chittum able to earn a decision against Ryder Downey. Won that one 4-2. That said, Downey still impressive body of work, 19-3 on the year. Out of Indianola, Iowa. Meschler, another hometown kid from Stoughton, Wisconsin, same as Rivera.
Yeah, and this should be a fun match. We'll really see where Luke Meschler stands when it comes to top tier guys. I think if he can battle this one out and get some confidence going into the Big Ten, it'll really help him. I think he's just, I don't know, he's just a couple shots, couple small details away of, surprising a lot of people at the Big Ten tournament. If I had to pick a guy on this lineup to surprise some people at the Big Ten tournament, it would definitely be Luke Meschler.
Now the redshirt junior, 9-13 on the year. We mentioned Stoughton before. It was a stat that was used on the national broadcast. Shane Sparks used it for the Badgers against the Boilermakers meet earlier this year. Just a fantastic stat. From 1971 to 1993, the Wisconsin head coach was from Stoughton, which is not exactly a big town coach.
No, it's not. But they they've proven themselves in the state of Wisconsin that they are a top tier program. Probably a couple down years coming here in the future, but in the past they are nothing short of being great. And you got a couple guys on this Badger team that help put Stoughton Wrestling on the map. Especially one of our seniors, Motto. He is part of a team that won 3 state team titles.
Okay.
So I think Luke Meckler and obviously Nicolar is a part of all that Stoughton tradition. So,
and Stoughton only a population of 13,000 as well.
Yeah, it's a small town, but at the same time, they are mighty and powerful when they come together and they wrestle well.
Downey got control of a right leg there.
Yep, and as I talk about it, Meckler is really good. He's good with his hand fighting. He's real smart. He knows how to wrestle. He's going to wrestle out of this position. He's really got to find a way to get his leg back to the mat. I think Downey's going to take his time. He's in really good position here. He's got to find a way to capture that other leg.
Trying to kick that leg out. Meckler's still able to regain his balance to an extent, and he's back down the mat.
And like I said, Meckler's, he's shifty. Like I said, he's one of those guys that I won't be surprised if he surprises some people at the end of the year.
You probably bet he's trying to get out of bounds here. 14 seconds left. Downey gonna have to make something happen here.
And if Meckler can hold him off, this is big. This is huge. He's got the wizard. Yep, Meckler's in really good position now. It's kind of hold out.
How about that?
That was
still
big.
tied going into second period. Luke Meckler holding his own against one of the nation's best.
And like I always talk about, like I said it before, when you start wrestling guys that are high ranked than you got to hold yourself until the third period until you get the opportunity to get a takedown, and then you get the takedown. If you can keep it tied going into the third period, you give yourself a chance to win. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's the strategy for Meckler here. But time will tell. Time will tell. Meckler gets to his feet. He's got that cross wrist. He was able to get it free. Now he's back up to his feet again. He's got to hit a couple more knee slides. Knee slide there. He's getting to his tripod. Downey's real good at pinching those knees. Let's see if he can keep them down here. Meckler's back on his feet. Now he's got to work to stay on his feet.
Introduced Downey as number 3 in the nation. Has slid 3 spots since that aforementioned loss to Chittum. But, of course, Chittum, he's number 11 in the nation, or he was, or now top 10 following that victory. But taking on a guy who definitely knows what he's doing at UNI. So for Meckler right now, we kind of talked about it before, just trying to decrease that sample size, get yourself in a spot where next takedown wins.
Yeah. And Downey, he's going to be there for a while. He's a sophomore.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, he's also young in the trenches, and I think with him going through the Big 12, he doesn't really get to see many Big 10 matchups, and as we all know, Big 10 is a lot different than any other conference when it comes to wrestling. So
that said, UNI did take the Cornhuskers behind the woodshed earlier this year, so they've proven they can compete at that Big 10 level. Going to be interesting to see how they do the rest of this year.
Yes, very interested to see how they're going to do, especially when the tournament comes around.
Yep.
And I believe that Downey ended up getting a win there at 157, and my guess is he took out Antrell Taylor. Yeah, Antrell Taylor, which is a top-ranked wrestler there in Nebraska as well.
You really are an encyclopedia, Coach.
Hey, I'm not as good as Shane Sparks. The guy knows everything. But, yeah, I try to do my best, man. I watch a lot of wrestling. I try to stay on top of it, and obviously I enjoy to do it, so I enjoy to watch it.
Yeah, enjoy having you with me, Coach. Kind of a crucial 15 seconds left. Meckler has not quite earned that escape point just yet.
He has not, and when it comes down to these matches, that's huge. That's huge. So now, you know, Downey he gets You know, he gets 2 minutes of riding time, and he doesn't give up that 1-point escape.
Well, obviously, you think Downey's going to start down here, but it's still kind of that idea of a takedown being that tell-all.
Yes.
That said, Downey's kind of got Meckler where he wants, that he knows he's going to have to attack here.
Yes, yep. So, realistically, you know, Luke looks like he's doing an optional start, which looks like he's going to let him up right away, and he's going to try to work right now. So, realistically, the score is 2-0, and Luke's got to find a way to get that takedown, just like I talked about at the beginning of the match. It's always going to come down to that last takedown once you start wrestling well.
Good eye, though, Coach, spotting that ride time. Awful close to securing it. Obviously, a couple more seconds to go, but Downey has definitely remained in control in that category throughout.
And the thing about Luke Meckler, he's really good at hand fighting. You know what I mean? He's good at hand fighting. He's really good at defense. So, you know, he can get to his shots, and if he does get to his shots, I think that's the part where he's got to work on his minor details and learn how to finish. You know, some of the best guys, when they get to the legs, they finish 100% of the time. You know, once you start talking about guys like, as I say that, Luke Meckler gets in on the leg. Now he's got to work to finish. If he can find a way to finish here, it's a totally different match. But again, it's the small details that we got to work on.
And now Downey, the one able to wind up earning himself that takedown.
Yep. And you know, that's what I'm talking about. You know, and I think that's how a lot of his matches has gone this year, where he keeps himself in and he finds a way to get to the leg and he just can't finish. And I think that if he finds a way to focus on the small details when he gets to the leg and get a high rate of finishing, I think, like I said, I think that's when he can surprise a lot of people.
And you're referring to Meckler there, right, Coach?
Yes, Luke Meckler. Yeah, I'm referring to Luke Meckler. And as you look at some of the top guys in the nation, especially if you go down Penn State lineup or even talking about Parker Keckenheisen, he is one of the guys that once he gets to your leg, he is scoring every single time. That's what makes guys good. Anybody can get to a leg, but it comes down to if you're going to score or not and you're going to finish it.
Well, Meckler was in a position there where he made this an awful interesting match going into the third period and midway through it. That said, Ryder Downey able to get the job done once again. Win number 20 on the year for him.
Yep, and a tough ride out. And then in the third period, he was able to defend his legs and, like I said, turn defense into offense, and you're going to get rewarded for it. As you can see, Luke Meckler finds a good way to get in on the leg, and Downey fights his legs off, and then he's in on his legs, and now he gets the score to seal the match. And
yeah, that was the defining moment. So it looked like that Meckler might have had an opportunity to get himself a takedown there, but of course Downey able to do what he does best, and for his effort, he's rewarded with a victory. 20. Got ourselves an interesting one. It'll be Cody Goebel, redshirt sophomore from Aguanago, Wisconsin, 4-4 on the year, taking on Jack Thompson, the grad student.
Yeah, and Goebel's one of those young guys again that's pushed in the lineup, and I think he had a close one last time against. I can't remember which one it was, but I know last time he suited up, it definitely was a close match for his first time suiting up for a duel here. So we'll see how he is. He's really good. He's a scrambly kid. You get in on his legs just like this, and you think you got him, and he's able to wrestle with you a little bit. So we'll see how this one pans out here. And as I say that, Thompson's trying to elevate that leg, and just like I talked about, Cody's he's a tough kid. He doesn't like to give up points, and he's going to fight his butt off in order to not give up those type of points. So.
Goebel in 2022 in high school, Wisconsin State finalist at 145. Career 24-23 record, 14-9 last season.
Thompson's a South Dakota State transfer, and as I say that, we get a slip Slide by, no points awarded. They're going to give him reaction time to kind of wrestle through this position. Yup, Cody's got to elevate it. Now he's got to slip his arm out and find a way to capture the other leg. If he can get that leg elevated again on the edge of the mat, he's got to get that leg elevated. As he gets it elevated, let's see. Thompson gets back in on his ankle. If he can roll underneath it, he's fine. Look like Thompson's okay with just holding on to the leg. Let's see if they're going to let him wrestle. They still made it out.
Yeah, crowd doesn't like it, but it was kind of a veteran move from Thompson. They were able to grab that ankle, and he just kind of recognized as long as he was holding on to that, there's going to be no takedown awarded.
Yep, and as you can see that replay, that was that first takedown for Thompson. Just kind of a little sweep there and found a way to find the back ankle and took him down for 3.
Nice.
Cody gets an escape, and now we're back on our feet.
Last time out, Johnson got takedown with 5 seconds left in the second period against Aiden Riggins. Rode that to a 7-2 win. 45-25 career record. No pins on the year. Did have 3 last year.
Well, Cody's got to do a good job here like I talked about. I know in that match last week for Thompson, he got to his high crotch a lot, head outside single. So there it is, left side, head outside single. Goebel finds a way to defend it off. Now we're in that front headlock position. I like to see Cody gets his elbows inside. As I say that, there's your takedown.
How about that? Right as the horn sounded, Goebel gets the takedown. He is in the lead heading into our next period.
Just like a veteran, even though he's not a veteran, you get that takedown right before the period ends, and you know that you're in good business. You don't have to worry about riding anybody. You just move on to the next period, and your points scored in that last period is capped. So huge for him. Cody chooses down, and he gets an escape. Now he goes up 5-3. And let's see if we can get these Badgers loud so Cody can go find a way to get another takedown here. I think Goebel's confidence is building more and more as he wrestles throughout the year. He's another kid that's been going to a lot of opens and wrestling pretty tough at these opens. I know he placed at the Iowa State Open up in Ames a little bit earlier this year. So these guys have been wrestling, even though they haven't been wrestling in the big red circle, but they've been wrestling throughout the year, and they're finally getting their chance to get on the mat in front of a home crowd and being able to show these guys what they've been working on. So we get a stalling call for Thompson, and it looks like
he's taking a second on the mat there.
Yeah, Goebel got headbutted or poked in the eye, or something happened here.
How often would that happen to you, Coach?
It happens a lot. Either poked in the eye or headbutted, but you got to shake it off and got to get back to it.
Right back to it. Goebel 4-4 on the year. Chance to pull off what would be the upset of the evening so far. That said, a whole lot of time left for Jack Thompson. Fantastic takedown prowess to his name. Only needs 1 to get himself a lead, and he's trying to go to work on that right leg, Coach.
Yeah, and that's what Cody can't have happen.
Uh-oh.
And as I say that, like I said, he's a scrambly kid. He'll do what he can to get a takedown. That's a big takedown. Right before the second period is over. Big takedown.
Just that looked like Thompson had the makings of a successful attack. It was Goebel able to flip himself around, and he's up by 5. Second period counting down.
Now Cody's got to ride him out here. He's got to stay on top. Can't allow him to finish. And there it is. There's your second stall call. 1 point for Goebel. This would be huge for Goebel. There you go. Going into the third period, up 9-3.
This Badger bench is electric right now. They know they got the makings of a memory, potentially, for Cody Goebel. That said, it's going to be tough. Thompson a chance to reset his mentality, and just 2 takedowns needed to tie this one up.
Yeah, I think Thompson's a little tired here, so
I think you're right.
I think if Cody Goebel can go get a takedown here, this arena might explode with what we got here. So let's see if he pushes the pace and go get another one. If he gets a takedown here, pretty much seal the match.
Ride time likely not a factor.
I really like to see Cody go after it. Don't let Thompson get to that left side high crotch. He's really looking for it. He's got to keep his hands low. He's got to keep hand fighting. Can't post. He's got to keep his levels changed. And there it is. There's that left-sided shot again. Now he's got to wrestle. He's got to continue wrestling. This is how he scored last time. Looks like we're going to get a stalemate.
Yeah, it seemed like Goebel was more than content to just hang out on top, keep milking that clock. 54 seconds separating him from a major upset.
I think one more takedown here is huge. Cody should really be trying to push pace. Thompson's got 2 stalling calls against him. Slide by, 2-on-1. As he's pushing. He's got to get to some type of control position, whether it's a 2-on-1. Here's his opportunity to score. Let's see if he's going to work to try to get it. Nope, he's okay with coming up to our feet.
Thompson, the graduate's doing all sorts of awareness. He knows he's got to hustle, but just 15 seconds left, and this place is starting to feel it.
Yeah, I think Thompson just kind of ran out of gas after this match, and Cody found a way to pull it out, which is awesome.
How about that for Cody Goebel? 9-3, your final. We got ourselves an upset.
Man, that was a big upset.
Absolute elation to his name as he hustles down the hallway.
Nice to get a big win there for him.
Absolutely. Has not been Wisconsin's season, especially the Big Ten level, but sometimes you just hunt for some moments, and Goebel absolutely got one right there.
Yes, we did. Now we get Luke Condon to come in, and he's one of those guys that, young guy, that he's going to work to try to get a win here as well. He's one of the 3 guys that has been ranked for the Badgers all year. So the Badgers are looking for him to come out and get another win for these guys.
Condon on the year, one of 3 Badgers who are ranked nationally, redshirt freshman, 13-9 on the year out of Poway, California. Taking on Nick Fox. Weren't sure if he was going to go at it or not. He's 18-5 on the year.
Yeah, it seems like they held back Sima. He was one of the guys that wrestled for these guys at the Iowa State duel. So looks like they're giving some guys some opportunities to wrestle, and here's one of your redshirt freshmen that UNI is throwing in to see what he can do. So we'll see how he pans up against Luke Condon, and these are one of those matches that we should see what happens. And as I say that, UNI special, head outside single, they love to get there. So here's Luke Condon's opportunity to try to get a score here. He's got to get those hands locked. Should be looking for a cradle here. If he can't get the hands unlocked, he should be looking for a cradle. There you go. Ref secures the 3. Luke Condon's got a couple wins for himself. I think he's doing real well in the Big Ten. He ended up winning Michigan State here at home. one of the guys that won those matches in that duel.
Yeah, talk about that Michigan State meet, Coach. Wisconsin, that's going to be their building block going into the offseason. 25-12 victory. I'll tell you what, myself and Nate Arcanigo, we were having fun up here, and you just didn't visit us, Coach.
Yeah, I didn't want to bother you guys. I want to sit in the stands.
Bother?
Just
oh, my gosh.
Just be a spectator for that one. But that was a good one. That was exciting. And like I said, I believe they won 6 out of 10 of those matches. And like I always talk about, when it comes to Big Ten wrestling, if you can find a way to win, over 50% of your matches, you're going to end up winning the duel if no big points like pins and, techs are given up. So that's what they did. They came out and they got their first Big Ten dual win of the year in front of their home crowd. So I'm sure a lot of Badger fans were appreciative of that. So now, like you said, it's a building block, and we keep continuing on till next year. And like I said, Badgers get some seniors back, and we can keep moving forward and figuring it out.
Condon got himself a victory last time out over Aiden Vandenbush, 12-6.
That was against Northwestern, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, Badger Ben's trying to take down there, not going to get it.
Yeah, they call a stalling on the Badger there. Looks like Schwab's throwing the brick in, call for locked hands on the edge of the mat. Fun to see this action, especially towards the end of periods. Guys kind of go a little bit harder to try to score points, like I always talk about. And sometimes guys make mistakes and they lock their hands or they give up the takedown. But the whole goal of wrestling is to create action, and the more action you can create, the better opportunity you got to score points.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of, I remember just a 100-meter in high school, where sometimes you get a guy who has that extra kick right at the end. Sometimes you get a guy who kind of eases up a bit, and all of a sudden,
boom, you get blown by. Yep, that's exactly what it is. So we'll see what the ref comes up with.
Well, let's talk about this Wisconsin Badger program, because, Coach, 5-11 on the year, 1-7 in the Big Ten. It's just, it feels like, you're someone, we can pull back the curtain a little bit. You're familiar with this organization. You spend some time with them. And you have this many young wrestlers. It's just, you talk about Roy Zanilo in particular, just a guy you just want to try and get that experience in here, try and figure out some little thing, and you think that there's a switch that can be flipped.
Yeah, man, and when you got a young team like this, it's all about building the culture. Once you're able to build the culture and, these guys start hitting the weight room, training a little bit harder, training all year round, doing off-season wrestling, then you start building the building blocks, and these guys start gaining confidence. And as you look at some of the guys, they haven't even filled out into their weight classes yet. But as time goes on, first thing you got to build is the culture, and everything else kind of follows. If you look at Schwab and what he's done at UNI, he built the culture, and now look at his team. So it's just what you got to do. But looks like we got a no locked hands on that call, and Schwab wasn't very happy about that. So
yeah, he took the words out of my mouth there, Coach. It just it goes to show what makes UNI so great, up 23-9 right now, and you've still got plenty of talent coming up for him. You still see your coach firing up, fighting for your guy. I guess spots like that when you're wrestling, it's got to make you feel good about your coach.
Yeah, even when you get into dual meets and teams get really, it gets big and you start winning a lot of matches, you still got to take it match by match when you're a coach, because every kid that steps their foot on the mat deserves that type of energy that you give. You know what I mean? You can't just sit back and relax after you're up big. You got to look at every single match, and you gotta get up for that match no matter what the team score is. So that's the type of energy that Schwab brings. He wants every single match to be won for his kid, and I'm sure every coach wants that, right? You want to go 10-0 in every duel.
Meanwhile, it's another takedown for Condon. You fought for that one for a couple seconds, but able to finally drive Fox into the mat and add 3 more points to his name.
Yup, and it's like poetry right there. You attack the legs, and then you work up to the body. He had a sweep single on that, found a way to elevate the leg, and then next thing you know, he's wrapping around the waist, and boom, you got 3 for takedown. So great job by Luke Condon on that one. Now he's just riding him on the edge of the mat like I talked about, just clocking up points when you're on top on the edge of the mat, showing the ref you're working, and just keep clocking it. So again, he locks up the leg, locks up the body, and secures his takedown on that replay.
Luke Condon up 6-1. Had himself a rough night, though. His favorite sports team, he said multiple times, the Los Angeles Clippers, wound up blowing a fourth-quarter lead against the Bucks.
Oh,
maybe with some extra fury to his name.
I'm sure he wasn't really worried about that tonight. I think he had bigger fish to fry as he's stepping on the mat. But maybe when he goes home and he looks on the tracker at the bottom of ESPN, he'll see that his Clippers lost that matchup against the Bucks.
You a basketball guy, Coach?
No, I'm not. I focus too much on wrestling in the wintertime. I like watching football, bigger college football than NFL. So I'm hoping that Fickle can get us back on track next year. And
You're supposed to be unbiased, Coach.
Yeah, that's true.
Second period in the books. Condon a pair of takedowns. No escape for Fox, so now Condon will probably have his eye on a major decision here.
Yeah, and he's got 2 minutes and 52 seconds of riding time, so I think that's locked up. Well, I guess you got to wait 8 seconds and he can get it locked up. But let's see if he can get to his feet and open up this score and try to go get at least a major decision here, if not a tech or a pin. He can't sit there. He got to keep his head up. Get to this tripod position. These guys got to start knee sliding a little bit more. See, Fox just cuts him. Let's see who gets aggressive here in this third period. Is Fox okay with giving up the major, or if Luke Condon's trying to go smell blood and get some bonus points for his team? Again, he's in on that leg. Now he's got to find a way to either capture both legs or work up to the body. Fox is really working the edge of this mat. Ref's going to probably end up calling stalemate here if nothing improves. So Luke's got to pick up that leg and pull him to the middle of the mat. Gets tricky trying to finish here on the edge.
Under a minute left, and
he gets a restart.
Yep.
Bono wants him to push. Let's see if Luke goes and gets this. And that's what I'm talking about the culture, you know what I mean? Like, when you're in this moment and you're up by 6 points and you know the next takedown can potentially get you that major, for your team, it's not just winning the match. It's the culture of doing it for your team.
Yep. Because you're going to be that same point. Maybe instead of trying to get that major decision, you're instead down a bit and you fight your way back into it, that same mentality, and suddenly able to turn what would have been a loss into a win.
Correct, 100%. It works both ways, and that's the beauty about dual meets, right? Because you know, anybody can go out there and just win, but sometimes you need that extra push, and the extra push is for your team. And, you know, if you can go out and push and get those extra points, then you get rewarded and your team gets rewarded. So,
well, Condon not able to earn that major decision, but still a win to his ledger against Nick Fox. And for Wisconsin, quietly, they've taken 4 so far here, Coach.
Yeah, they're really fighting back here. You know, obviously the 3 guys that were supposed to won it, and now we look to get some upsets, which we already got one upset.
Final match coming up. We get to watch one of the, so far so good. It's been awful fun, a lot of fun battles in there. Northern Iowa has the edge over the Badgers because of how definitively they've earned some of these victories, but Wisconsin, chance here, and obviously incredibly unlikely. You look at who Dylan Russo's taken on, but chance to make it 5 apiece.
Yeah, you know, like I was talking about before the break here, you know, the Badgers ended up getting 4 wins, and Parker Keckenhuizen, he is a monster when it comes to the sport of wrestling. Like I was talking about before, he gets in on a leg and pretty much his finish rate is at 100%. So it's really cool to see, a Wisconsin native doing the things he is doing.
Yeah, Keckeisen, actually a Wisconsin native, but he really is one of the all-timers at UNI. Earned himself a tech fall against Caleb Helgeson last time out. Helgeson had 8 points, but that's also the number of takedowns that Keckeisen earned. And just like LeVar Ball, Keckeisen never lost on the year.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to see this 184 matchup at the national tournament at the end of the year. My prediction, obviously, is Parker Keckenheisen and Carter Starucci making it to the finals, and I think that's going to be a matchup that everybody wants to see again. It happened earlier this year, preseason, before the season started, and Parker ended up losing that match to Starucci, but that's kind of one of those matchups that we're going to look forward to, where you got potentially a 5-time national champ and a stand-up guy like Parker Keckenheisen trying to dethrone him and win his second national title.
Keckeisen has never lost at home throughout the entirety of his collegiate career, and he got himself a heck of a well-earned standing ovation. So afterwards, he felt a whole lot of love. You can just see how schools like UNI can just embrace their talented athletes. It's no wonder why they just keep having so much sustained success. They've got the formula here.
Yeah, and like you said, man, he is a UNI great. He's really good at what he does. He's consistent at what he does, and when you're consistent and dedicated like he is, it's only going to create success. So he's up 6-2 right now with 2 takedowns and 2 escapes for Russo. So
Dylan Russo, redshirt freshman, 5'11" on the year, out of Columbus, Ohio.
I think when Parker walks off the match, after this match, he's going to get a standing ovation here in Wisconsin as well. These Badger fans really take pride in their Wisconsin guys, no matter where they go to school at, and I think he's one of those guys that a lot of people in the state likes. So won't be surprised if he gets another standing ovation here at home.
I think you're right. This will be his last dual meet of his collegiate career. But he's got a whole lot of high-stakes wrestling ahead of him.
And that's pretty epic for him, man. His last 2 duels, right? His last duel at home for UNI to go off like that, and then he comes to Wisconsin, and his last official duel of his college career, he finished it in his home state. So pretty sure he's happy about those 2 things, and that's pretty cool. I didn't even think about that until you said that now. So
yep, guess to end it where it all started, at least in that dual meet category. But he will undoubtedly be a popular pick to be your national champion, just like the team he's playing for.
Yep. I'm pulling for him. Unbiased opinion.
Well, it's easy to, oh, yeah, now you feel bad about being biased. Yeah, ran into this UNI team when I was walking into the field house today, and they're just a good group of folks to talk with. Just like maybe that's just kind of the culture of the sport as a whole.
Yeah, like I talked about it earlier today. It all starts with the head coach, and the head coach, I go down there. They run an off-season tournament, Folk Style Nationals at the UNI Dome, and they've been doing it for years. And Swab is awesome. He comes down there, he mingles with everybody, he talks to everybody, makes sure whatever kids that want to take pictures, they're taking pictures. The wrestlers are working tables down there. The wrestlers are humble, like take pictures with everybody. So it all comes from the top, and it feeds its way all the way down to the bottom. And as you said, like you can tell that they are a good group of humans.
Keckeisen just 2 points away from a tech fall.
Looks like he's trying to get his second set of back points here. He got a 4 count on one, and now the ref is counting for the next one. And if he doesn't get the pin here, he's going to get a tech. And there's your standing ovation for Parker Keckenhuisen.
Capping off an undefeated year, 20-0, and Coach, you said it, a standing ovation all around for one of the all-time greats. Fun way to wrap it up, and that will give us a 23-12 final here in Madison. And you gotta say, Coach, I mean, obviously UNI, they got the job done, but I think also probably 28-12 is your final. Some building blocks for
I didn't know that. You're stuck in the past. Unlike me. Do grab.
Others accepted at 99% of places nationwide. Earn cash back at all.
Hey, man, you got purple, right?
Yeah, of course.
I'm not drinking like water, but
Order Circle water bottle.
Circle is a water bottle.
Yeah.
Circle helps you drink more water.
I know, the one with 100,000 flavors. Loser, you got Circle.
100,000 orders confirmed. You got Circle! America, Circle just delivered Adam's orders. What could be yours? Seriously, check your front door.
Joshua Walker, world's best backwards basketball shooter.
6 grams of protein, loaded with fiber, and they come in over 20 tasty flavors. Blue Diamond Almonds might be the world's best snack. I should know.
Can your snack do all that?
What a find! And the fly back from Gophers. Saturday at 2 Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific on the Big Ten Network.
Of the heart recollections of the last 8 years.
I don't know what I did or who I am now.
You can watch the movie the episodes.
I can't be in the dark forever.
Every Tuesday, me and Amy were together. I want to tell her. Don't miss an all-new unforgettable episode.
I will be a doctor again.
Doc, all new Tuesdays on Fox. Watch anytime.
The Big Ten Cancer Research Consortium is where the Big Ten's fierce rivals join forces to take down their common foe. The rivalry still exists, but maybe that's what fuels such a powerful collaboration, working together on cancer research to advance treatments and therapies to bring more options to patients who need them. Learn more at big10crc.org. Cancer is the one opponent that unites the entire Big Ten.
Campus, we'll show you around. I knew that she wanted to be one.
I think she's the skin start tonight. You know, she so far so good. And I know she missed her first.
Welcome inside the All-State halftime. Rick Pizzo, Autumn Johnson with me. You had a chance to catch up with Northwestern longtime head coach Joe McHugh, and he kind of gave you the keys, the recipe to what would be an upset for Northwestern. All of those ingredients are missing in the first half.
Yeah, I was just at that game when they played against Rutgers, and they've been in a lot of these games, especially down in the stretch in the fourth quarter. And I asked Joe McEwen, what do you need to do to come over that hurdle? He said, we got to get stops and score and take care of the basketball. Credit to Maryland's defense right now, 22 points off turnovers. I thought they were very connected on that end, sending the high edge, being disruptive, making shots tough at the rim. So far, that's been their main recipe for success. And then down scoring, it's really good to see Kaylin Michael come out and have the game she's having. Single digits in her past 2 games, and this is their lead score. They've been good on both ends.
No way you're going to beat a team as talented as Maryland when you give it away 16 times in the first half. And as you pointed out, the Terps converting all those turnovers into points on the other end. They lead it by 18 at the break. Speaking of big leads, perhaps a bit of a surprise, the Hoosiers blowing out the Buckeyes. Show you those in progress highlights next.
Some people just know they can save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first.
Like you know to check first that you bought seats in the right section. Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that can save you hundreds. You're good hands with Allstate. On a design studio, won a really big design contract. Realize you're more of a creative type than a finance type. Realize you got this. Use QuickBooks to get your cash flow flowing. Get live expert assistance to maximize your tax savings. I can help with that. Get back to doing what you love. Manage and grow your business all in one place. Intuit QuickBooks, your way to money.
Wherever you're headed, Discount Tire wants to get you there safely. That's why we created Treadwell. Treadwell shows you transparent tests.